Hello knitters. I am going to show you how to do German short rows. I love German short rows. I've tried lots of short rows before and this is my favorite. And Elizabeth Kramer has them built right into her pattern. So she does provide a very good video in her pattern that you should look at as well. Sometimes people explain things a little differently, and it doesn't hurt to have two sources of information. So short rows, it sounds crazy. What is it? Short rows are a really good way to make sure that a sweater fits properly. So short rows will add more rows to the back so that the back collar sits up higher than the front. And if you look at any sweater that you've got in your closet or a sweatshirt or anything, you'll see that the neckline has a U in front and the back is higher up on the neck. So this is how we're going to do it. So if you look at your pattern, we're doing the Yuma by Elizabeth Kramer. She tells you how many, you're starting on the short row 1 on the right side, and she tells you how many to knit over. So for my pattern, I'm almost there. I've got 2 more stitches left to go for my size. Then she says to turn. So what we're going to be doing is turning and working on the back side. This is the inside of the sweater. Then she says do a double stitch and purl to the beginning of round. The way we do that is a double stitch is you slip your right hand needle into the first stitch, pull it off. I should say first of all, your yarn, your working yarn should be in the front. Pull that all the way back and around. Pull it pretty tight and pull it down. So what you end up here is a double stitch or 2 stitches. Now I'm going to show you again. Go backwards. Make sure I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 30. Okay. I need 1 more stitch. I thought I probably dropped that. So you're going to turn the work so that you're working on the wrong side. The yarn stays in the front and you're going to slip 1 stitch as if to purl and pull that yarn, this working yarn, back. Do you see? Let me get this a little closer for you. Now we have a double stitch here. We have 2. It's just slipping it and pulling it around and all the way around to the front again. And you have a little gap here. That's what you want. So I'm going to knit back, or excuse me, I'm purling now, purling back. You don't need it this big. Right, okay. Purling back. In her pattern, she has you do 4 short rows before you start the lace. So we're going to be concentrating on just the short rows. They are a wonderful detail that you can add to your sweaters. Sometimes people use them to make a high-low back. So if you want a kind of a lower back than in your front, you might do short rows. If you're knitting it in the round anyway. Sometimes people use it to shape for the bust, and sometimes they use it to shape for the shoulders. That's really common too. I think the most common way that I know of is to do them on the back of the neck. And right now we are working on the back. You can see my stitch marker, my cute little stitch marker that I got from Yarn Bar. Okay. So since we're doing 4 short rows, and there's usually, oh wait a minute, there's more than 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 short rows. So we're actually adding like 12 rows to the back that are not going to be on the front. And it really adds some nice, and it's, the reason I like German short rows is that you can't really see them from the front. There are other types of short rows. There's wrap and turn, there's Japanese short rows. There's a couple of others. I have a hard time with the wrap and turn. I just can't get it to be as invisible as I would like to. The Japanese short rows are really good, but they're a little fiddly because they use a safety pin. And I've tried lots of different short rows, and the one that I like best is the one that we're currently doing. So I will stop here in a minute and count my stitches. And you basically are making your short rows symmetrical so that you have a certain amount of stitches on the front side and on the back side, and then you go a few I'm sorry, I'm looking at the directions. Yeah. Okay. And they're symmetrical on both sides, so that it looks nice. And I'm just going to count here: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, 30. Oh my gosh, I got exactly the number I needed to. So then the directions say then to purl or to turn. So the short rows are done pretty much the same on the front side as they were on the back side. You're just going to make sure that you bring your yarn to the front. You're going to slip again tip to tip. So you're not going to go through the back of that loop. You're going to go back through the front. And again, you're just going to pull. And this is where you get those 2 stitches. It's called a double stitch. I'm going to show you again. Slip that back. You're starting off like this. I'm sorry, you're starting off like this actually. You just purled here. You're going to turn your work. You're now on the front side. You're going to pull your working yarn to the front, slip it, and pull tight. And it actually brings the V from the stitch up onto the needle. So you're going to pull it and start to knit. So that is how you do German short rows. from here on, you just follow the instructions in the pattern. But those are the basic way, that is the basic way to do German short rows on both the back side and the front side of the work. So I hope that helps.